Hi, everyone.
Hey,
I'm Alicia,
and I'm Meredith.
and this is It's About the Pasta, a Vanderpump Rules podcast. Season, 11, reunion number
hmm
2. Amazing.
I just feel like we're sitting and waiting for this, like them to watch their last 5 minutes so the real drama can kick off. And I feel like this is just stupid. Why
This
make
could have
it a
been one
3-part
episode.
reunion? Why make it 3 parts if it's not going to be interesting?
I'm glad Katie finally got her moment to
hmm
talk about her issues because I feel like last reunion it was really skipped over, obviously, because Sandoval was
Yeah.
so in the moment.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
So one part for Katie, one part for the drama. We could have cut out a whole fucking part.
Yeah. What was last episode?
I don't remember anything.
Me
When I
neither.
tell
Me
you
neither.
Reunion season 10 is like my comfort. Like I put that on to take naps because I love it so much. This can die with the Zoom episode 1. This can fall in
Oh my
oblivion.
God.
Yeah.
Honestly, Zoom one was probably better than this one.
Because at least we shit on Jax, which is one of my
Yeah.
favorite hobbies.
Yeah.
But whatever. Okay, so before we get into the few things that happened in the episode, check us out on the A&M Podcast Network. We have this podcast. We have Summer's Fun, a Summer House podcast, which is also a Winter House podcast, and a Summer House Martha's Vineyard podcast. What else do I need to tell you to do? Oh, rate, review, subscribe, Meredith. We do have a review to go over.
I saw this one.
This one, because there's a few
I
that
think so.
cracked me up a little bit, but those are Summer
Yeah.
House. So this one, it's from Max RF, which are you, Max, from the show? What's up?
Oh my
He listens.
God.
I'm honored. No. Anyway, it's 4 stars, and it's titled Want to Love, which that's our dating life. They all want to love us, So we get that a lot. Anyway, Max RF says, it just feels like these folks aren't aware or don't want to engage with the fact that this is a television show and all of these people are fighting for paychecks, careers, and lifestyles. I wish they want a layer deeper and actually discuss the show as it exists in the real world and not take everything they see at face value. Doesn't make it a bad show at all. I'm just more interested in the actual well, that's a big word. Hang on. Machinations?
Mechanisms?
Mechanisms? It's not mechanisms. Whatever. And not just the edits narrative angle that the show feeds us. Totally get it, Max. Totally get that you like seeing the outside world drama. Unfortunately, we're not in the outside world drama, so all we get is the show.
Yeah.
This is a
And
podcast about the show, but
I know it's a show, and I think it's really shitty if you're treating your friend like that for
terrible.
a show.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, like get it together. Oops, my voice. Sorry, but anyway, I have allergies. Okay. Anyway, we talk about what's going on in the real world. I feel like as much as we know or care.
Sometimes I forget, like by the time we record, what actually happened in the last week in the real world.
The thing is, if you ask me right now, like where does Scheana land with Ariana, I would say probably not good, but I don't know for sure. I'm just speculating, which is like,
well, people like Sheena's birthday party was like a few weeks ago, and people are like, oh wow, like Sandoval and Ariana aren't here. Like, where do you stand? Like, they were all in her like comments and stuff. Like, where do you stand with all those people?
Well, she celebrated Ariana's brother's birthday.
I saw that.
But Ariana and her brother aren't speaking right now, which I don't know why. Is it because he hung out with Sandoval? See, it's just
I don't know.
If they don't write a tell-all book, I'm not gonna know. So all I have is the show.
1,000%. Like I don't get enough details for me to want to like really talk about it and speculate, because then I'll go down a rabbit hole and I don't have time for that.
Yeah, so the only thing we could do is just take the show at face value and just.
But happy to DM with you about real world things.
Yes.
I feel like that's where the conversations happen on, because people send us stuff and then like that naturally has a discussion at that point.
Yes. Oh my God. But yeah, sorry, Max. You might need like a gossip
We can't do
podcast.
it all. I'm literally recording this from a different country. I'm trying my best here.
We're doing our best. Okay, we're sorry. Just try a little harder to love us. Okay.
Hey, at least it was 4 stars.
Yeah,
Thanks for
no,
trying
could
to
have
love
been
us and
worse.
giving us 4 stars.
Could have been worse. Okay, so thank you so much for your review, though. Check us out on TikTok and Instagram at Vanderpasta and join our Patreon, patreon.com/Vanderpasta. Let me tell you what you can get. For $1 a month, you get access to all of our fun pre-shows where Meredith and I and sometimes Sarah talk about whatever we want. Also, you get access to any episodes we record early, including this one. For $2 a month, you get access to what was I saying? Everything I just mentioned. Plus, when we go back and we watch old seasons, we'll do a Bravo after show. So we can talk about current Bravo news and not give away anything on the podcast that we're doing on the old seasons. But this is a live season, so we'll talk about whatever we see on this podcast. Also, we'll say your name on the podcast. I didn't practice. Okay, so thank you to Allie, Ashton, Chris, this is already bad. Celia, Darby, Dee, Gabriella, Jackie, Jamie, Jennifer, Kirsten, Casey, Kelsey, Kirby, Chrissy, Lady Swamp Witch, Lauren, Lindsay with an I, Lindsay with a Y, Robin, Sammy, Sarah, L, Sarah R, Tierney, Tonette, Tracy, Allie, Amber, Ann, Ariane, Emily, Gina, Isabella, Kelly, Lady Nee, Leanne, Lisa, Nina, Taylor, and Tara. It was a rough one, but you know what? Meredith's in a different.
There's some new names in
I know it
there.
threw me, and Meredith's in a different country, and I just woke up, so this is what we're doing. Deal with
We're doing
it.
our best. We're doing our best here.
We're just trying, okay? Okay. And then for $5 a month, you get access to everything I just mentioned. Plus, when there are live seasons, I'll ask for your questions, comments, opinions, concerns, and you can give them on the podcast. We've been bad on it, okay, because Meredith's in a different country. But next week, I'll do a full reunion thoughts,
Reunion
and we can
sweep.
talk about it. So don't riot. We will do it. We're just really trying here. Also, we will pick a patron of the episode, which I'm obviously like unprepared for. So I'm just gonna look around. I think we had a new name. Celia? I think I said Celia, but it might be Keela. Cilla. How would you say that? Cilla.
Is that like Kayla? I don't know.
The I makes an is sound. So Scylla.
You're gonna get a double episode.
Celia.
If you want to let us know your
Ah.
phonetically spelling your name, and we'll give you next
This is my
episode too.
worst nightmare. Okay.
My
I'm still
gosh,
sleeping.
This is our roughest open we've ever had in the 4 years, almost 5 years of doing this podcast.
Look, everyone's gonna have bad days. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone has those days. Everyone knows what I'm talking about. Okay? Get with it. Okay.
I'm dead.
Let's hop into the episode. Great. So we pick up right where we left off at the reunion, where Lala thinks Katie's a different person on camera. Katie's didn't want to like talk shit about Ariana on camera. Basically, what happened? Oh my god, this was like infuriating. Katie called Lala off camera before filming and was just frustrated that Ariana, had all these other opportunities. So the sandwich shop was possibly falling behind.
Yep.
So then Lala tried to get Katie to talk about it on the show, but by then Katie was over it, so she didn't care to bring it up. But Lala was really pushing for it. And Katie got a little Katie-like and was basically like, look, stop fucking with my business or else I'm going to fuck with yours. And Lala took that very personally because she is a child and Katie doesn't. So the businesses are different.
We talked about that last episode, but I felt it even more here where she's like, yeah, but I have to support my child. And I'm like, and a lot of people like were commenting on it. Like, it's different. Like a child can't support themselves. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that is true. A child cannot support themselves, but Katie has to support herself too. Like, why is a child's needs greater than like Katie feeding herself?
It's just like they're both businesses. Like, yeah, okay, your business is feeding your child. Great. That was a decision
Awesome.
you made. Katie didn't want a
Correct.
child, so her business is just feeding herself. But one business is not more important than the other.
That's what it is. Like whenever we're like fighting for Katie and like fighting for like single women, it's not to say like we're greater than or our
No.
stuff is greater than like anybody who does have a child. It's that we're equal. The needs are equal.
And listen, like just logistically, Katie is out here doing her own thing on her own. She doesn't have a child to support,
Hmm.
but Lala's child also has a father who
Yeah.
also helps support the child. She has her mother and brother very close, moved in like right next
Hmm.
door. So there are, listen, if Lala needs to take a break from work, there are other people that can help support this child. It's just
Yeah.
not fair to be like, my business is more important
I
because,
can fuck with your business,
yeah,
but then get
that's
mad
it.
that like Katie would do somewhat similar.
Yeah. And then, God, listen, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it here. I hate Schwartz more than I ever will hate Sandoval. I hate this man. He
I,
is so infuriating. He gets involved and he's like, Katie, it's okay for you to be resentful or annoyed at Ariana. Like they're trying to pit these two women against each
yeah.
other. And Katie's literally like, I just didn't want Ariana to worry about it because she has enough going on.
Yes, like that is like being a good friend by even if you're frustrated with them, like knowing that it's just a moment in time, like a moment of frustration, but that your relationship, like Katie and Ariana's relationship, supersedes like any momentary annoyance, and that like you don't need to tell your friend every time you're like get a little bit annoyed with
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. And so Ariana sticks up for Katie and is like, Katie has never acted differently with the public. Oh, because Schwartz is like, Katie, you might have been scared to speak up because then you wouldn't be Team Ariana. And
Yeah, he
Ariana
would
goes,
go
that was
against it.
so rude, by the way.
Ugh.
And Ariana says, like, absolutely not. Katie has been herself on this show and the public has eviscerated her for it before. So, like,
Mm-hmm.
why would she change now? She's authentic. And Lala's like, I don't think Katie's authentic. And then they ask Ariana, like, are you offended that Katie said these things about you? And she goes, no, because Katie's feelings are valid and we've discussed it. So it's
I think
fine.
that they like and like Lala bringing this up at the reunion like wanted to stir shit up as if like these two don't talk to each other.
Yeah, like let's break up the sandwich shop at the reunion. LOL.
Yeah. I just don't get it because it's more inauthentic to bring it up on camera 3 months later when the moment has gone away,
Yeah.
when the frustrations have gone away.
Yeah. I mean, Katie and Ariana could have had a conversation of like, oh, 3 months ago I was feeling this way, but now we're fine. But that wouldn't have been good
Yeah.
TV.
I don't think it would have made it.
No, it would have been the plant shop conversation that was like, it's all good
Mm.
and there was no drama associated with it.
Where it just doesn't make sense in the greater storyline, like of what the show ends up being. There's so many scenes that are filmed
Yes.
on every reality TV show that don't make it because they don't kind of go with this overarching narrative. And I don't think Katie and Ariana, yeah, like discussing something from months ago, or even if it like was happening right now, really would have made sense.
No, I agree. So, then Brock comes in and looks at Schwartz and calls him the catalyst because Schwartz tore away any confidence Katie had in herself. And Schwartz is like, who, me? And then Brock was like, yeah, because of the betrayal in your marriage. And
Yeah,
Scheana looks at him and goes, you were a bad husband. And he's like, I wasn't a bad husband. A bad,
I
literally the
loved
definition
this
of a
side
bad
combo.
husband.
Seriously, the way he like doesn't even know to this day, like he's shocked that they are making those comments. Like,
Yeah,
dude, everybody around you knows you are like not a great husband.
no.
Even Sandoval has like made comments about how he like got in the middle of like Schwartz and Katie like in season 9, like whenever
Yeah.
they were opening Schwartz and Sandy's. Like Sandoval can even see like this was not great.
No, I actually just saw one of these last night where it was like a video where they're asking well, I'll say boys because they're like in college, like who put these three in order, your mom, your wife, and your daughter, and all
Oh
of them put
no.
their wife last, and it's like that's wrong because in a marriage, your spouse should come first. In
Your kid
specifically,
should come first,
yeah,
I
fine.
think, then your wife, but like it should not be your mom above your wife.
No, absolutely not. Or your friends or any of that
Gross.
bullshit. So like,
Yeah.
you know what? Brock, we've shit on him for like putting his nose where it doesn't belong, but I think he's an equal opportunity employer there. Like he's like, I'll
He's
shit on everyone.
I was about to say he just like wants to hit the beats and be a part of it,
You know
and so like
what?
that's what I'm annoyed with. But he actually treats Sheena like
You
properly.
know what? He watched the show and now is like, I'm gonna give my opinion, which I respect because I say if you're gonna come on this show, you should watch it.
True,
So
true.
good for
He
him.
can see where he should fit in
Yeah,
to get himself some more screen
you know
time, and
what?
that's what bothers me. He's
That's
doing
fine.
it a little too well.
That's fine. Do you? So, they're basically like, what happens with Lala and Katie now? Lala's like, well, we're one and the
Oh
same
my
because we
God.
deliver packages in unpretty packaging
Like
or whatever.
truths, yeah,
Deliver
it's
facts.
like
That's it.
moments, facts,
In
that's it,
unpretty
in unpretty
packages.
packaging. Girl, no.
Katie's like, look, I'm not gonna sit here and be called fake, but Lala's like, we're gonna go on the up. But Katie looks
Okay,
pissed.
let's remember though, they filmed this reunion and then Lala goes on her like ranting tirade in
I
the press
eviscerated
and then
Ariana. Yeah, that's what she says.
unfollows
Mm-hmm.
Katie and Lala or Katie and Ariana. So like, are we on the up and up?
No, she's trying to stay relevant, and now she's crying on Amazon Live because no one understands her point of
I
view. So
It is so funny to watch this play out for Lala. Like actually the it's so funny because Max's like review actually is what I'm enjoying the most about this reunion play out is
here you
that
go,
like the show
Max.
sucks, but what's happening outside of the show because of the show is actually really funny to watch. Like Lala thinks she's like doing so well and like will like the larger audience will be on her side and like yeah we prioritize this show like more than anything and it's like really no we don't like we like the characters
What she
not the
doesn't
show necessarily.
what she doesn't get is the majority of fans who have been here for 10, 11, 12 years or whatever are saying cancel the show. Right? The
Yeah,
only ones who are like, no, keep going with the show are the ones that
or
just
people who
joined
just
season
joined.
10 to
Yeah,
watch Scandival. The rest of us were
yep.
like, it should fucking end now for sure. Because we just wanted to see the
Hmm.
aftermath and now we don't care. And she's like, no, we prioritize the show. We're going to keep it going. And it's like, please stop.
And
Quit.
also, like, Lala, you were not here from day one. Like, your opinion and thoughts about these things, I
I don't
don't
care.
fucking care. Like,
You're
you're lucky you're here.
Well, you came in season 4, okay? The show was
Hmm.
established and a hit. And dare I
And
say,
she did half a season for her first season.
oh my God, yeah, because she disappeared
Actually,
to
I think
Italy or
that might have been
something.
her second. Yeah, there. Maybe it was actually season five is where she disappeared,
Disappeared
didn't
for a
she?
while.
Yeah, there was like a moment where she only did half a season. So like I don't really want to hear it from you, girly. You're the one who shows like shares the least on this show. I saw a TikTok where it's like everything that happens in her life has been off the show. Like her getting together with Randall, like not on the show. Her like having a baby, not on the show. Like a lot of this happens in the off season of the
Hmm.
show. And so like you really never like relate and connect to Lala because everything in her life has always like her breakup happened
Yeah,
when the show wasn't filming and like that's not always her choice but she doesn't then like bring those storylines she just wants to talk about other people and like
yeah.
their storylines and she's mad that like Ariana isn't bringing more and Katie isn't having this conversation on the show and it's like how about you just look in the mirror and handle your own storyline because you're bringing nothing.
Oh, okay, go
i
off. I
I
was
mean
just,
I'm not I know I'm not wrong.
I saw a TikTok where she's so cringy actually. How she went for a while and was like, I'm Tupac reincarnated. That was a big thing
Oh
for
my
her. She's
god.
always showing up. She's like, what are my homies? And like, girl, you're a white woman from Utah. Calm
Yeah,
down. Where she's like, I'm a
it
pit bull. I'm a Michael Vick fighting dog. Shut up. Just
the phases of Lala have been
she
wild.
should be canceled, no? Like it was wild to be like, yeah, there's a
It like
black man, it reincarnated within me, ma'am.
it like never makes sense. Like she just loves to put a label on it, just like her little soft era now. I'm like, why do we
Which
have to label where we
which
are when we're
oh
not
my
there?
God, which I this soft era. If we start calling we cannot call women soft. Fucking cut it out. Summer House was driving me fucking up a wall with this. So like cut it out. Soft is we're done. Anyway,
We're done.
let's move on to Schwartz and Scheana kissing. Which Andy is like, how is this the one secret that never got out amongst this group? Because we had Jax and Kristen hooking up twice,
Mm-hmm.
once to the movie Drive. You came twice, sweetheart, you know. So Ariana and Sandoval at the Golden Nugget, Schwartz making out with people while in a relationship with Katie.
Oh God.
Jax, everyone remember when Jax fucked Faith? And then Scandival, obviously.
I
So
love that we get the clips, and again, this is a nod to all the new fans because you have no clue what has like the history
you
of the show.
you don't even know how
You
good
don't
how
understand the
good
asylum where they raised
how
me.
good the Jackson Faith shit was. That was
Oh,
amazing.
which I can't
I
wait
can't wait to
to
watch it.
dive into because that's going to be the next season that we get to watch on our rewatch. Like
It's like the
going back,
first episode too.
it's so early.
Anyway, so basically it was forgotten. Sheena buried it and Schwartz honestly forgot about it. And at the point of the kiss, Katie hated Sheena. Like Sheena
Yeah,
was the home wrecking whore because her boyfriend was sticking up for the whore in there. Never forget.
I loved seeing that scene
The
again.
orange hair makes it chef's kiss. But so Sheena wasn't going to tell Katie about it. Schwartz forgot, and he's a serial cheater. So, like, he
Oh
wasn't
my
going to tell Katie about it. Also, he hates women. So,
And like Detective Jax isn't here to give us truth
the
bombs
truther,
anymore.
you know? Yeah, because Jax wasn't on that Vegas trip to see Sheena's
Yeah.
little sister do cheerleading.
Oh God,
So,
that throwback photo that we got, the 2014, I was like, Jesus, I feel
it
old.
was on a really bad camera, which I know we had, but also we had good cameras too. So, like, figure it out.
No, that was an iPhone photo, like from Instagram because it was a
Man,
square.
it had to be edited from the Instagram. It was just bad lighting.
Yeah,
But I have photos from 2013 where it is not that. That's a bad photo.
that's true. It was probably the Instagram filtering.
And they zoomed in, so it got pixely. Yeah, so it's bad. Okay, so Schwartz apologizes for being or like a sloppy fool for so
Oh
long.
my God.
But yeah, it just kind of came up. Like Sheena hit her one time. She made a joke out of it. That's how it came up. Katie though
Hmm.
says like it is jarring to find something like that out years down the line. And Sheena goes, "No,
Oh.
I get it. I never wanted to hurt you, and like it really wasn't a big deal, but fine." Um,
This is where sometimes with Sheena, I'm like, listen, it's gonna hurt no matter what.
yeah,
Like if it, whenever it does come out, it's gonna hurt, and holding on to it is going to make it hurt even more. Like, I don't think she should have told her like the moment it happened because they were in a good place. But like, you need to find a moment where you and Katie are in a good place that you can like tell her this, especially like once they got divorced. Like, I feel like that's the moment to be like, hey, I'm so sorry, I've been holding on to this forever, but like, I need to tell you something.
yeah. Or even didn't Katie and Sheena have like a few heart to hearts to like try and figure out their friendship? Like,
Yeah,
you
when
know what
Katie
would
was
have been
getting
a good
married.
time is when Scandal came out and we found out Schwartz's apartment was like the secret place and
Ground
he knew
Zero,
about
yeah.
it. And Sheena could have been like, hey, just to let you know, like this, I just remembered this. But like, thank God
Hmm.
this man is out of your life because he did kiss me when we were together or when you
I
were
know
together.
because she remembered by that time because
It
like
was
Schwartz or
glamping.
Sheena like made the joke at Christmas. So
Yeah.
like by the time the like reunion, last year's reunion filmed, like Sheena remembered.
Yeah. Sheena could have told Katie and then dropped it on the reunion.
Yeah, on the
Anyway,
reunion that would have been insane.
so Sheena doesn't know how to play it. You know, she wants to be the star. This
No.
this was it, girly. I gave it to you. So Sheena made a comment about how every person, like every man on the show, has
Oh,
hit on her. So
this is just so
I
gross.
have
Like I
to talk
hate when
about
she
this.
drops comments like
This
these.
was hilarious, and I was like, you know what? Fine, but Jax is no longer on the show. But I will say he thought Sheena was super hot season one and was trying to
Hmm.
like hit on her just to piss off Stassi.
Yes.
So he has,
Yes.
I think one thing is hook up versus hit. Like Jax would hit on
Yes.
her and be like, "Can you rub my back with
But he
lotion?"
was very forward about it
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. So James, I guess, drunk one time, asked her to go behind the DJ booth, but he doesn't remember.
I
Um,
believe that one.
I mean, yeah.
It's James and drunk James, like way back, like his early seasons. But this is believable.
Yeah. So then Sandoval in the early seasons, I guess, for Watch What Happens Live, they were with Jax and Stassi. And Sandoval was telling Scheana about him and Kristen not being intimate for so long. And like, you know, which, okay, fine. That's not like hitting, but also that's his
Yeah,
MO.
that's true.
That's how he gets, he goes, think of it, Miami girl. She was like, you were telling me how you and your girlfriend have not been intimate for so long. Ariana, he was telling Kristen, or he was telling Ariana that him and Kristen have not been intimate for so long. He
Yeah,
told Raquel
he did
that.
that with Raquel. That's so
So that is
true.
his way to hit on women while he has a girlfriend.
But I just don't know. Like that one, I feel like Sandoval is never, I guess, on camera versus off camera. It's hard with the Raquel thing because I'm like, okay, he did a lot off camera versus like on camera stuff. But this is one I just believe less. And why do you feel the need to like brag about this too? Like that's what bothers me. Like, why do you have to make this a
Meredith,
thing? Why can't you just hold on to
all the
this?
shitty men wanted her, and she held out for Shay and Rob and now Brock. So
I mean,
if you look at the men, her men have all been kind of better than the men on this show. So
I mean, I don't know about that. She was like ripping drugs and like stole like 6K from her
like he
bank
was
account.
hilarious. He's like James.
He
James fat shamed and yelled and
true.
cheated, and
And
he was still
is now
funny.
sober.
He was
Yeah,
funny doing it, you know.
that's true.
So
Hers have been better than some.
Rob can hang a TV in 7 minutes, so I don't know what you're talking
Oh
about. And John Mayer, he dates younger
oh
women.
God. She always needs to be like talking about herself.
Yeah.
And so she cannot hold. This is why I'm like shocked that she held in the Schwartz thing because like she can't hold anything
Well,
in.
if there's one thing Scheana doesn't want, it's that hate from
It's
those
Katie.
women. The wrath?
Yeah.
No. She was like, it's better just to not talk about it.
Sheena just like needs to tell herself that she's been chosen or picked, and so
Yeah.
she like needs to say it out loud so she can hear it like back in herself, like she can hear her own voice
Yeah.
saying the things to be validated.
Which, you know what? Shout out, girly. Confidence. Do it.
It's throwing me back to that the gangbang comment from like
That was
season 2
terrible.
or 3.
That comment is probably the one Scheana moment where I fully I hate it.
I'm just like, oh yeah.
Anyone could have said
So
that though, and I would have been like, oh, I hate that comment. Anyway,
there are moments where I've like come around on Sheena on some moments, but this type of stuff I'll never be able to
I
go
love
for her.
Shishi. You know what? Get your bag. Brock's sitting there. He's like, yeah, everyone fucking wanted my
But
wife.
here's the thing. She's better than Lala because at least Sheena's giving us these like cringe
At
storylines and
least
it's like kind of
at
funny.
least it's funny, right? Like Lala's just
Yes.
yelling at people about their
That's the
lives.
thing.
Sheena's like, guess
Lala
what
just
happened to me in
actually
mine?
makes me yeah, I just like Lala actually makes me hate her. Like Sheena, I like love to hate her.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like it's
Like if
enjoyable.
Sheena wasn't around, you'd kind of be like, oh, where's the
I'd miss her.
comedy? You know, like the comedic relief. Where is she? Like I miss good as gold. You know.
Oh my god.
So, let's talk about Katie hooking up with Max. I'm gonna kill everyone but Katie. I swear to God.
I know.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so Katie basically goes like, I hooked up with Max, and then Andy's like, was it in response to the Scheana Schwartz kiss? And she goes, look, like it might look like that, but also maybe I just did what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And Schwartz is like, I love it because it makes us equal. And Katie goes, no, it
Oh.
doesn't. And
No, it doesn't. This is nowhere near the same thing.
Schwartz says he actually manifested this because after the Raquel stuff, Katie had such a quote intense reaction. He asked for this to happen so he could show Katie how you appropriately respond. And Katie looks at
I want to
him.
drop kick this man
Oh my God.
into another planet.
I hate him. Hate does not cover enough.
It's so funny because we typically can like pass off his shitty behavior, but it is so glaringly obvious and bad now. Like in this episode, I'm like, I have never hated him more.
Well, Katie is just like, you, like the degree of cheating doesn't matter. Like it doesn't make it hurt any less. So what you
No.
did to me is still not as, or like it's still worse than whatever I did after we were
Yeah, this doesn't
divorced.
balance us out.
Yeah, we don't use this to feel better about yourself, basically. So
it's so gross that he's using this to like validate himself that he's a good person and
he's
he's not as
he's
bad.
crazy. I wish Brock here also was like, Schwartz was a shitty husband, just like out loud, and everyone could have been like,
Again,
yes.
yeah. I'm like, can we redo that
Do it
conversation
again.
between Schwartz, Brock,
Do
and
it again. Scheana should have been like, shut the fuck up. Let her speak.
I that's a thing. I just want everybody for 1 minute to just be like, Schwartz, you are a shitty person. You are a
If,
shitty husband. Knock it off.
my God, could you imagine us hosting this reunion? I would have been like, Schwartz, I don't even know your name. Shut the fuck up. Meredith,
This doesn't equal. Yeah.
go up, tape his mouth so we can move on with this because Jesus Christ.
It's like I need
Fired.
you know how like you say vows like when you get
Yeah.
married? I need basically like fuck you vows for their divorce. Like basically
Oh, I would have loved.
like we're not equal, we're not on the same playing
No.
field. Like it does that like us getting divorced does not negate all the terrible things you did. Like you are lucky to be even in the same room as Katie. Like
Also,
Katie should be treating you the way Ariana treats Sandoval. That's how shitty you were. Like
yes,
you are lucky she doesn't give you that treatment.
lucky because she doesn't
Lucky.
care about you. That's this. But
That's
also,
how dumb you are to her.
literally. But also, so then we go into like the keeping it in the friend group. And
Mm-hmm.
Katie says, look, like the Max thing isn't as bad. And I agree with everything she said about this. So basically, when they made that agreement, it was fresh off a divorce
Mm-hmm.
and they were trying to figure out how to be friends. She
Yep.
said, please do not hook up in the friend group because that's something she didn't want to deal with. She didn't want to have to deal
Mm-hmm.
with the cast getting involved, with like opinions swirling or anything like that. And he chose to ignore that and he still pursued something with Raquel, even if it was fake. He pursued it and made her believe it was
Yeah.
real, did not care about her feelings at all. And so the minute he broke that boundary, that deal was
It
null
doesn't
and
exist at
void.
all.
And
Yeah.
they are, I
Yes.
don't know, a year and a half to 2 years out of their divorce at this point.
Yeah. It's been like since they have like decided to separate and then like legally divorced, it's been 2 years.
So like,
And like,
no, I could, at this point, it's not cheating if she hooks up with
no,
Max.
it's
She's just
not cheating.
hooking up.
And you broke the agreement, so the agreement no longer exists. Why do I need to follow an agreement if you're not going to? And I hate
Yes.
that he always is like, oh, Rachel was a fringe friend. Okay, but it was on the show.
In the
And like
friend
it being
group.
on the show makes it so much worse. And then you add on that like her and Sandoval were actually having an affair. And so like your guys' kiss actually was even nothing. And so you like hurt me
For nothing.
for a lie.
Yeah.
Like that just it actually makes it worse.
Yeah. So Katie's friendship comes below Sandoval and Raquel.
This fake bullshit to hide an
Yeah.
affair. Like, come on. Pick me one time in our life, please.
And
Just once.
and then she brings up like there was no acknowledgement that you did this to me last year.
Mm-mm.
And she says
She didn't get any moment
no.
at that reunion, really.
Yeah, and she says she had to process a lot of stuff on her own without a lot of people and then to find out what was actually happening behind closed doors. It was a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and she didn't have the support of this cast. She didn't have the support of a lot of people. She didn't get her time to
Yeah.
tell Schwartz how she actually felt. So that
Mm-mm.
agreement, null and void, bitch.
Fuck that. Yeah.
Null
You're
and
lucky.
goddamn
You're
void.
lucky all I did is sleep with that man.
And you know what? Max has been round 4 seconds because that's how amazing Katie is. So you should talk to your friend if you're not happy about it. But Katie's fair game.
1000%.
Yeah.
Yep.
So let's talk about Nanny Tori, should we?
Well, I also love that Andy
Oh,
asked
yeah.
Katie if she has slept with Max again, and she's like, no, basically no
Well, she
comment. And
goes,
I'm like,
I don't
yes,
remember.
you totally have, and I'm in for
I'm
it.
here.
Yes.
Okay, Nanny Tori, which is crazy because that's what I always call her in my notes and on the show. But it reminds me of Nanny Carey from One Tree Hill.
Yes.
And the actress's real name is Tori. So
Oh
it's
my
like weird.
God.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay, Katie, did you mean to go after Nanny Tori? And Katie was like, I was just really on my hoe game this year, which
Hell
I
yeah.
loved. Anyway, so what happened was, like off camera, Tori had told Ariana, like, yeah, I'm supposed to hang out with Schwartz, but I'm really actually into Katie. And Ariana was like, have you told Katie about this? And Tori's like, I don't know if she'd be into it. And Ariana's like, you should go talk to Katie. Because Ariana didn't know, but she was like, it
Mm-hmm.
might. And then Tori, I guess, went to talk to Katie, and Katie was like, hell yeah. But she didn't really even know at the time that like Tori and Schwartz had
We're gonna go on a
plans.
date.
Yeah, until like,
Yeah.
because
Which like
then,
that makes sense.
yeah, because
I like
then,
love that this just kind of naturally unfolded.
because then Katie went to Ariana and was like, oh my God, I'm going out with Tori. And Ariana's like, she's also going out with Schwartz. And it was like, oh.
Like
So,
this is what's nice about the show is like just random things unfolding like this and it's like funny.
well, then Andy's
Um
like, you only like fuck around in the friend group. And it's like, that's the easiest way to like meet a lot of people.
yeah.
It's just like you're hanging out with these people. Scheana brings this rando girl Tori, and it's like, ooh, who's
Yeah.
this? You know, like it happens. If
Mhm.
one of my guy friends brings a new guy, I'm immediately like, who is this and is he single? You know, like I gotta
I know.
know.
I'm like it, yeah, it's the best way to meet people because you know they're already kind of like I'll say a little bit vetted
Yeah.
on like if your friends would hang out with this person, like obviously you'd probably get along with them.
Yeah.
So might
It
as
all
well like scope it
happened
out.
more naturally, like this unfolded. It's very fun.
Yeah.
So Schwartz asks if Katie is dating anybody, and she says, I'm dating everybody.
She's such a bad bitch. I love her.
I'm so into her. I can't
I
stop. I can't stop
this
staring at
Katie
her.
Katie's like life and where she's at is the only reason I would not want Vanderpump Rules to be canceled because like I'm really enjoying where she is in life.
Yeah, this isn't confirmed, but I've seen rumors. Obviously, you have too, that like this show's probably going to get canceled. A bunch of people have been
Hmm.
offered to go to the Valley, and there's an idea for like a something about her-ish
Her
show,
like spinoff, yeah.
or just like finding different people at Lisa's restaurants. Which, like, please stop. We have the villa that I
I know.
haven't watched. Like, didn't we do this already? Just stop.
That's the thing. I think we're done because we even have the like new Vanderpump, I'll call it, over with Leva's restaurants.
Oh, which is
And I
great.
like
Sorry,
I
yes.
haven't watched it. And so
It's
like we already have this concept again though. Like we've refreshed it with
yeah.
like a new place. So like I think we're it's time to close our Vanderpump doors. Like
I just think
we're
Lisa
good.
Vanderpump, we're done. We're done with
Yeah.
that.
Thank you for the
Thank
years
you
of
for your
service,
service.
but
Yeah, we're done.
it's okay to say goodbye.
Go back to the villa that I haven't watched, and it's just on
And
the list
won't.
somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, let's talk about Lake Tahoe. Schwartz was very upset when Ariana shot down the invite. He called her the queen of the group. And Schwartz just didn't like that Ariana was speaking for the rest of the group. It wasn't
I
meant,
don't think she was.
no, it wasn't meant to be a redemption arc for Sandoval.
Okay.
And then Andy's like, Ariana, people think you have an ego. And she's like, that's really interesting because Schwartz is the only person to say that. Like, my actual friends who know me don't think that. And she goes, and then it
Ariana,
was sparked by trolls, but that don't know me.
she like can cut so deep with her lack of caring about anything.
Yeah,
Like
she's
if my
weird.
friend was like, "Oh, like he's not my real friend, so I don't really give a shit what he
Yeah.
says." Like if somebody said that to me, I'd be like, "I really thought we were friends."
If I'm
So
Schwartz,
you're basically saying my opinion
well,
doesn't matter.
she knows it hits because his number one thing this season, he's like, I just want to be friends with Ariana again.
I
Remember when he
know.
was like, I'm glad we can speak. I love you so much. And she's basically like, it's interesting because he doesn't really even
Mhm.
know me. This joke of
Yeah.
this clown of a man. LOL.
Oh God.
And then Katie's like, I think everyone's just mad because you're not like in a fetal position sobbing. And Ariana's like, I just do that in private. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
do it so you can watch.
I hate the like narrative that like Ariana has an ego because like Lala's been spinning that in the press, you know, and
Yeah.
it pisses me off because somebody isn't acting the way you want them to be and because they just don't respond with the same level of like hatred or like whatever you want them to do, they're not doing. They have an ego.
It's just we didn't see Lala like fold over and cry either. So like
No. But she rages about about Randall stuff. So like I just don't think Lala and Schwartz like can comprehend just cutting off Sandoval cold turkey, no contact, the gray rocking thing. Like they're like, wow, she thinks she's so big she can just do whatever she wants. Like no, like she has every right to do whatever she
yeah.
wants, and that's not an ego. That's being insecure in like what you have and like knowing that your life will be okay
Yeah.
moving forward
Yeah.
because she's so secure in herself. Like if Scheana doesn't want to be her friend anymore because she won't have like Ariana won't have Sandoval like in her vicinity,
Fine.
then like Ariana will be like, that's fine. I will figure out my life no matter what.
Yeah. Which is lovely.
I love
Listen,
that.
she's always got Katie, and those two together, lethal. These
They're like
two,
superheroes in my mind.
also, I love them like sticking up for each other this reunion because everyone's
Hmm.
coming at them left and right, and it's like, shut up, we got this, no worries, goodbye.
They're so calm. Like they don't need to do the Lala
That's the
effect where you have to
thing.
scream.
It's like almost scary how like indifferent they are towards these people. Like they don't like you.
I love
They
it.
don't
It
like
is
you.
so
I
enjoyable to
know.
watch. They're just like, no.
Notice how James too is also just like, I'm not even getting involved.
Well,
He
I think
knows.
James was really the most prepared for this like reunion and like them not knowing the last 5 minutes. I feel like James probably sees the most because he did his like after show with like Lala and Scheana and constantly had to like give them the like devil's advocate and like other side and be like, no, I think Ariana's fine for, like wanting to cut off Sandoval. Like he was always giving the other side. So I think he's
Yes.
just like, God, I don't want to be in the
I
middle of
also
this.
think Sandoval continues to hurt James. Like we'll get to
Hmm.
the end of this episode, but I just think like besides Tahoe, Sandoval hasn't really prioritized his friendship with James in any
Yeah.
way, and I think James is very hurt about that. I also think Allie is very much like James. You cannot trust him.
Because it's a box. Like James was like a box to check. Like,
Yeah,
oh, we're good,
yeah,
and like he can just. It was a transaction. They had like one conversation, and like Sandoval has never like tried to invest in the relationship. So
yeah,
it's like, okay, so we're not friends. We're just two people on a show together.
yeah, yeah. Which James, join the wolf pack. It's fine. Leave him
Go back to
behind.
the ladies.
The
I
ladies.
need dinners with Ariana, Katie, James, and Allie. Like
That
I just want the four of them hanging
the
out.
little cute wolf pack that we love so much, but are deathly. Because let me tell you, Ariana and Katie, lethal in itself, throw James in and
Hmm.
you're getting smashed.
And Allie not
Smashed.
being around this group too much just like is a breath of fresh air. Like she can just
Well, she'll
see
just
things
control
that like other
James.
people
She'll be
aren't.
like,
Yeah,
go,
true.
just go. And he'll be like, attack. I got it. Anyone comes at Allie, dead. Dead meat.
Oh my
I
God.
love Wolfpack.
Absolutely.
Okay. We talk about, did Ariana have sympathy watching Scheana struggle with Sandoval, but however, Ariana didn't watch it, but she lived it. So let's talk about what she lived.
I love that response. I like am mad that she didn't watch it because I just need her to like show up and like know that these people are not her friends, but she'll find that out here soon. But I just think it's so fun. Again, she's so unbothered. She's
She's
like,
like, I
nah,
don't
I didn't
watch.
watch.
She's like, but I lived it, so it's fine.
Hmm.
Because Sheena's trying to be like,
Yeah.
she didn't.
Yeah, like she doesn't know how hard it was for me because she didn't watch.
So Ariana says, look, Sheena's feelings are valid, but like, I'm not the person you should come to
No.
with those feelings. And Sheena just wanted Ariana to know that Sheena is still her girl, but Sheena tends to misspeak and not know her audience
Oh
and
God.
struggle. So like she can see how it comes across the
Hmm.
little not great, let's say.
Yeah.
Even Sheena didn't know what she was saying. She was like, I'm a mess. And we're like, yeah. So
Sheena's so bad with this Ariana stuff, and I don't think Sheena gets it. And that's like the worst part for me. That's why I dislike Sheena, but I'm like, she'll just never
but
get it.
that's almost what she was admitting. She's like, I don't get it. And everyone's like,
Like,
yeah.
why can't I talk to you about Sandoval? Like, I just talk to you about
She's like,
everything. And it's like, oh
okay.
no.
It's just whatever. Even Ariana was like, it's okay, girl. Me
And that's the
too.
thing. Ariana's just like, I know who you are
Yeah.
to your core, and I accept you and love you no
Yeah,
matter
it's
what.
fine. We got it. So Andy brings up Lala having clear boundaries about Randall. So why can't she comprehend like Ariana's boundaries with
Oh.
Sandoval? And Lala says it's because she has a child and a custody battle.
Again, why are her feelings invalid because she doesn't have a
Look,
child?
I
I
get it.
do think it is more serious going through a court case,
Yes.
absolutely. But that doesn't invalidate Ariana's feelings and desires and wants
I
and
think I
boundaries.
think that's it, right? Like, okay, fine. So the group really it was a hard no to hang out with Randall.
Hmm.
Fine. But like
It's just the reason why is different in my mind.
yeah, but like okay, you just because Sandoval, well also they're in a legal battle for this house, right? So like does that count? Like she doesn't basically both of these women did not want their exes to know anything about their personal life. Okay?
Correct.
That's,
to be able to use it against the other
yes,
in court.
in whatever. Because Sandoval was trying to
Yeah.
turn this group against her, trying to turn this show against her. So, like, in any capacity, do not let this man near me. That was
Yeah. Have
both of what they were
access to
saying.
me. Yeah.
But Lala's like, she goes, if you don't have a child, you wouldn't understand. And I go, I may not for sure understand, but I get that, like, yes, we cannot have Randall near us because he's trying to take your child away from
That's the
you.
thing. Like,
But
I can comprehend your situation. Why can't you just, like, at a, like, normal level understand mine?
most people who break up with terrible, shitty, narcissistic exes do not want them near. Why is
Like, and
that?
Lala's the one who compared Randall and Sandoval last year. So, like, now Sandoval's suddenly, like, fine to be around. For her, that's okay. That's a choice she gets to make. But why do you, like, feel like you can make that choice for Ariana on, like, if she wants to be
Yes.
around him or not?
Well, Katie says, like, you're okay, fine, you have a child, but, like, Ariana can still have boundaries. And Lala goes,
Yeah.
I'm just confused because there's a boundary happening, but Ariana still lives with him and has a new boyfriend.
I don't get why it's also, she said, and got a new boyfriend 10 days
10
after.
days
I'm so
after.
tired of the, like, 10 days after timeline that they keep throwing out because it's not true. And then also, like, what, do you not understand her situation and, like, the setup and how much she has, like, how many boundaries she has in place to, even while living under the
Like,
same roof, to not talk to him?
yes, like, okay, you have a kid, she has a house. So, like,
Yeah.
they're both very expensive things that are owned by both parties and need to be
Yeah.
split
Need to be
financially, and
split.
we have to
Yeah.
figure that out.
Yep.
Right? So as you're sharing your child back and forth with your ex, she is sharing her house back and forth with her ex.
It's
And I
so
know
easy
it's
for
not the same.
Lala
A
to,
child
like,
and a house are not the same. I want that to
no,
be clear.
no, but it's so easy for Lala to, like, like, make her child really important, which her child is very important, and, like,
Yes.
want all this respect and understanding and stuff, but she minimizes
Everyone
anything
else,
that, like,
yeah.
yeah, like, their situations and what's important to them. Like, Lala gets to decide if it's important or not in your life and
That's
in
the
her
thing.
life.
Yeah. So she gets to decide how important it is for her life, and then she tells
Hmm.
you what she thinks, and that is how you
About
should
your
live.
life.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I would be so mad at you if you were trying to tell me, like, how to live my life.
Yeah. Also,
Like, I understand Scheana wanting to be friends with Sandoval and not wanting to be, like, Ariana's boundaries to maybe, like, affect, like, her own life, like, or Sheena's own life. But Lala is trying to dictate how Ariana interacts with Sandoval, and
yes.
that's what I just boggles my mind.
Yeah, I do want to comment on the boyfriend 10 days later. I would just like to say, who cares when you find a boyfriend? Are you jealous?
Did they say this in this reunion episode that, like, they were like, well, at least I started, like, after the relationship. Like, Sandoval basically got a new girlfriend in the relationship. So what
Yeah.
is 10 days later when, like, she's not cheating on her partner?
Also, stop it. It sounds like you are really upset that she found someone to share her life with
Yeah.
so fast after her relationship
Well, it's like
ended. Why are you
it
really, like, hung up on, like, she in
it feels a
10
little
days?
victim blamey. Like,
It's
oh, you're not
she was
sad enough.
single.
Like,
She was
yeah,
literally single.
like, how dare you go out and try and be happy and live a new
Yeah.
life?
And
Like, you
even
were
if
supposed to
she
be the,
did,
like, Scandival victim
yeah. And
for, like, a certain amount of
yeah,
time.
why are you in fetal position crying? And even if she did sleep with Dan and hook up with him and start dating him 10 days, 10 hours, 10 minutes after Sandoval, she is
Yeah.
single.
Why are
He
you shaming
he was
her?
fucking around 7 months before they were broken up.
Yeah.
And
Like,
Miami girl. So, like, let's come on.
just like Schwartz is trying to, like, bring him and Katie to the same level, I feel like Lala's trying to put Sandoval and Ariana back on the same level. Like,
Yeah.
well, she moved on so quickly, so, like, what Sandoval did doesn't
He's
really
good.
matter
Yeah.
anymore. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so Ariana basically, because the boyfriend 10 days later, Ariana was like, did you have an issue when Katie started dating? Because Katie also had set
Hmm.
boundaries and, like,
And
everyone
was
was,
living in the same house with
yeah.
Schwartz.
And Lala's like, no, because Katie wasn't traumatized by a man for 10 years. And I go, yes, she was.
Yes, she was.
I'm traumatized by the same man for 10 years. I hate Tom Schwartz.
Again, does it, because Ariana, like, got mad at last reunion, does that mean she has to stay that level mad or, like, do things that you want her to do? And
Yeah.
because, like, Katie didn't have, like, a rage fest, I'll say, Like she was allowed to move on.
Yeah, and Katie was very traumatized. Schwartz was terrible during their marriage.
Yeah. Like to Lala, Katie didn't present angry, so
Mm-hmm.
she was able to move on because she didn't have those feelings.
Yeah.
But like Lala decides that Ariana presents angry or like dislikes Sandoval, so like she's still hung up on it and can't possibly move
Yeah.
on to a new relationship.
Because you must forgive and forget to really be a healthy woman.
To be allowed to date
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
It's because it's Lala's life
Yes.
rules
Thank
that we're
you.
following.
If you could write a
Thank
book,
you,
thank you
Lala.
so much.
Just like we should think of Scheana always, we have to ask Lala for permission
Yeah.
for
Is it
things.
okay if I feel happy today?
Yeah.
Let
Can
me
you imagine if
know.
Ariana wakes up and she texts Scheana and she's like thinking of you. And then she texts Lala and she says, "Hey, can I get out of bed?"
Should I cry while getting out of bed or put a smile on my face? Let me
Yeah.
know.
What should I do today?
Yeah. Hee hee. Should I text Dan or is it too soon? Because 10 days.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
But Scheana, don't worry, I'm still thinking of you.
Is Sheena in 10 minutes is like still or did you forget? And she's like, never. Everything I do, I think of
I
Sheena.
just need to take 1 minute to ask Lala for
Yes.
permission.
Actually, though, ever since like everyone's been making that joke, I do think of Sheena a lot. Like I'll just be doing something and being like, I
I
wonder what Sheena's up to.
Anytime I actually see any news or announcement, I always think, I wonder what Scheana thinks about this.
I always check her Instagram story to see what she's doing.
And
So
like people leaving us comments on like on videos not related to Vanderpump. Sometimes I'll
thinking of
see
you,
something that says like,
Sheena.
I wonder what Scheana thinks about this.
I love that's my favorite
It's
bit.
like
Is it
it's such
genius
good lore.
PR? It's working. It's working.
I wonder if she's gonna get so many sponsors because of everybody just thinking
Are
about
you thinking
Scheana.
about me? The
I
Calm app is like, can you not sleep because you just keep thinking about Sheena?
Scheana Shay.
Let me help you. Anyway, so back to this clusterfuck of shit.
Chaos.
Ariana says Katie has boundaries. Her herself, she has boundaries, and Ariana
Mm-hmm.
respects that, like respects Lala and her boundaries, and all she wants is for
Mm-hmm.
Lala to respect the boundaries she has set. And Lala says she doesn't understand Ariana's boundaries, and Ariana says,
This is why I wish Ariana watched the show so she could say, my life is not for you to understand, or whatever, like Lala said earlier this season.
well, she basically
Or my
says
life doesn't have to make sense to
yes.
you.
But Ariana says, look, my boundaries you don't need to understand them.
You
You
don't need to
just need
understand
to
them.
respect them.
Yeah.
And Lala says she has been respectful. And Ariana says, well, the way you're speaking now is not very respectful. And Lala says she watched Ariana sit there while Charlie talked shit about her last
I was like,
season. I was
what?
like, who?
Why are we bringing this
So we
up?
literally show this last season when Ariana and Raquel are still fucking hanging out. Charlie
Oh,
was
by the way,
talking
this is a
shit.
Sandoval tactic. When you're being told that you're not being like respectful, you throw back something that was like ages
Yes.
ago. That when a moment that they weren't
Yes.
respectful. Are you fucking kidding me?
So Charlie basically talked a ton of shit, and Ariana just said nothing. She didn't actually even
She just
insult, but
It was definitely one of those like holy fuck like laughs, smiles, like where you're like, I can't believe this
what
is
do I
happening. Not that I agree
do?
with it, but it's just like, what is this situation I'm in?
Yeah. So then Lala brought it up this season on in a plant shop. It did not air,
Hmm.
which Ariana says we talked about that. So don't sit here and pretend like we didn't squash this already. And Lala says, well, it didn't air, so we're bringing it up now. So basically what happened was Lala said, hey, I didn't love that you didn't say anything when Charlie was shit talking me.
Hmm.
And Ariana said, you're right, I should have said something. And I said nothing, and I'm sorry.
Yeah. But like in the world of Lala, if it's not on TV, it doesn't count. I I cannot imagine being
Wait,
friends with this girl.
but question. Sandoval also sat there and did nothing, but Lala's fighting for a
Mm.
friendship with Sandoval.
Well, Sandoval's not questioning Lala and her respectfulness, so like he's not a bad person
I would just like to
to
say though,
Lala.
if we're gonna do this, let's call it how it
That's equal
is.
opportunity. Show up, Brock. We need equal opportunity yelling at.
And then Charlie made a TikTok where she was like, she tagged Lala and Vanderpump
Shut
Rules
up.
and Bravo, and it was I think it Nene Leaks. It doesn't matter, but it was basically a housewives moment where someone was like, "And what am I doing here?" and she like dubs over it.
Oh
I'll send it to you. It was
my
funny.
God. I just this this really is like I think my final nail in the coffin on Lala. Like she really thinks that we care about this show that much that like if we don't see a clip of Lala getting an apology, then like does Lala really think that we would be on her side so much about something so dumb?
I forgot that this even happened.
It was a nothing moment for that season.
It's definitely a nothing moment for fucking this season.
Like
I
this
listen.
isn't some big apology you need, like some long storyline where you like really needed it to be known that Ariana fucked up. Like nobody remembered
It's
this,
just,
nobody cares.
it's truly crazy because okay, I can't say for the past of Vanderpump Rules, but for today, 2023, 2024 time, these seasons,
Hmm.
we wouldn't put the man in front of the woman. Okay, we've had Barbie, we've had Taylor Swift, we've had Beyonce.
Yeah,
We're done. We're done listening to men.
we're done.
But also, like, we prioritize people's mental health over enjoyment at this point, right? So there have been a ton of different
Yes.
shows that's like, this was so terrible to people and they're canceled and we're never doing that. And like when people are treated terribly online, we really think about mental health. Like even sometimes in pop culture now, it's like, oh, he murdered his family. And people will be like, that is so terrible. Was he struggling with depression? Like we just must know.
Yeah.
So how dare you think we're going to put this show in front of Ariana and Katie's mental health?
Yeah. Again,
Do you know what I'm
Lala
saying? I
doesn't
think
have a
I'm not
story.
articulating
Yes.
it,
Yeah,
but
but like again, or Lala doesn't have a storyline. This is the only thing she can talk about.
the plant shop, I
Yeah.
cared more about what plants they were going to buy than this whole
You
conversation.
know, Lala is sitting there on her high horse thinking she's all that in a bag of chips because like production is probably in her ear because like she's their minion and is like watching her little tapes getting ready for the reunion and is like, ah, I didn't get my apology in there.
Yeah.
This is
I'm
ridiculous.
going
I'm gonna
to
make this
bring it up.
happen.
I'm going to make Ariana apologize again. Because fuck her.
What?
And producers
Shut
were like,
up.
listen, girlie, we see the way this season's going, so we're just going to show her she already apologized and it's, you know.
That's the thing is like, why was this even in the reunion? This was actually so dumb.
Literally, give me
This
Katie
is
and
how like
Ariana giggling about something about her instead of this
like Lala's in bed with
with the
production because
producers.
like why the fuck did
Who
this
cares?
get
It
aired?
came out of nowhere too. When she's like, I'm
Yes.
respectful. You know who's not respectful is you.
You. Because your apology didn't make air.
Yeah, so we're talking about it. Well, fucking okay. Anyway, so Ariana says, look, you don't have to understand me. You just need to
Hmm.
respect me. It doesn't matter if you get it or not. And Lala says, Ariana, we're on a show. Like, he asked me a question. You know how this goes. And Ariana goes, yeah, you talk louder than everyone else. So you're right. Fine.
You think you're
You think you're
right
right.
just because you're like talking over people.
Great.
I'm so tired of her. It's old.
The plant shot, what a waste. Anyway, which we just spent like 45
I
minutes
know.
like talking
I
about
know.
the
It's
plant.
so funny because I was just like thinking like, oh, we started this episode being like, this was terrible. And every time we have a bad episode that we watch, we love talking about it.
Because there's nothing to talk about. So it's just
We
us
just get to
going
talk
off
to each
on
other more.
rambles.
That's the thing. We get to rant more rather than like give a play by play of what happened in the
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah. We're more natural this way.
We get to like get on our stupid little soapbox and rant about these stupid little people.
We're meant to cover bad TV. That's
Mm.
our goal. So this
You know
reunion
what?
really
God sent us down the chute and said this girl will have a great opinions about
about
nothing.
absolutely nothing. Useless. So, okay, let's talk about that photo that came out where Scheana had her arm around Sandoval.
This stupid photo has gotten so much time on this goddamn season. I actually am so mad at whatever fan caused this.
Okay, do you remember when this came out and we both were like, it might not be that big a deal? Like, we both were like, it's just a fucking picture.
Oh my god.
I think that even more now. I'm like, this was less than a big deal.
Okay, this is another thing. Like, this didn't need to be such a big thing on the show. Like, what are we?
But it
We
was
we
because
have
it was
no
such a big thing
storylines.
in real life. It
Yes,
was
but like
taking over the internet. We had to talk
that's
about it.
true. That's
So
true. All because
basically,
Ariana's stupid little arm was around Sandoval.
yeah, a fan came up to them in Tahoe and said, "Can I get a picture?" So they all just really quick stood
Jumped
there,
in.
and Scheana
Yeah.
happened to be next to Tom Sandoval, and the internet eviscerated her for being a bad friend to
And then
Ariana.
Scheana read every comment.
She lived in the comment zone, and so Ariana saw it. She was slightly uncomfortable, but she also didn't want to like comment on it because that's just going to cause
Yeah.
more headline. Like this stupid ass
Mm-hmm.
picture caused a week's worth of headlines. So Ariana's like,
I
if
know.
I comment on it, more
It'll keep
headlines.
it alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, she then has that conversation with Lalo where Lalo is like, "You can you comment on it because the trolls are really coming for Scheana." So Ariana appreciated. She looks at Lalo and goes, "I appreciated that conversation because it made me
Mm-hmm.
see how Scheana was getting like
Well, like
completely
it'll be a
trashed."
topic no matter what. If I
Yeah,
comment on it or not, it's gonna kind of live on. So I might as well like make the headline be like
positive for
my
Scheana.
support.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Scheana felt like being ride or die this season for Ariana wasn't enough for her, and Ariana says it's Ariana's so nice. She would make me sob. She goes, "Scheana, it's sad that you feel that way because you're more than enough." And I was like, they're trying to be like Ariana needed so much from us and like blah blah blah. And she's like, "No, you're the
Well,
best
and they're trying to
girly."
be like, Ariana isn't a good friend. She didn't like post about how like she's fine with Scheana over the stupid photo. And it's
Yeah.
like, that's not who Ariana is. But like on an actual real level, Ariana cares about Scheana, where the shit that matters.
Literally, she's like, "You are so much more than enough. You are amazing."
We're like, Lala is like, you won't post about her, so like, you don't care. And it's like, no, she actually like really fucking
She
cares about
loves
her a
Sheena
lot.
so much she wanted it just to die out in the press.
Hmm.
Shit. Okay, so Ariana though still says she will remove herself from situations that make her feel comfortable or make her feel uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable. Yeah.
And Sheena had said she can't stop hating Sandoval for Ariana because there was this like again unshown scene that truly didn't matter. That Sheena was asking if Ariana could have a conversation with Tom Sandoval for Sheena, and
I hate
Ariana
that.
says, "For you, I will not do that." So
No.
Sheena's like, "I can't hate him for you," and I was like, "Hate him for yourself,
That's the thing.
girly."
That's the thing. It makes it seem like Sheena's only hating Sandoval for Ariana, and then like Sheena wants like Ariana to have a conversation with Sandoval for Sheena. Like Sheena, it's not all about you. It's not all
But
about
it is
you.
because we think about her every
I
single
just and
moment.
like and even if like Sheena never spoke to Sandoval again, like you really shouldn't hold on to that hate for someone else. Like, and I'm happy like
Well,
Ariana was like, I don't want you hating anybody for
yeah.
me.
But also, so like Sheena wanted to let go of the hate because it was affecting her as a mom. And like, fine, then let go of the
Yes.
hate. But that doesn't mean you have to welcome this person in with open arms.
It's kind of like the forgiveness talk that we talked about with like the Brock Ariana conversation.
Yeah.
Like Ariana can forgive Sandoval for herself and she doesn't have to talk to him, but she also doesn't have to forgive him if she doesn't want to. Like you get to make up your own rules for your life. So like Sheena, you can let this go and be friends with him or not be friends with
Yeah.
him. But like it's not a bag you have to like carry around with you every day to like show proof of friendship with Ariana. Like, yeah, we hate him.
It wild. That's all I can say. This was wild. Anyway, so now let's talk about this was worse. Dancing with the Stars.
This is so cringy. This is so
It's
bad.
bad. So Sheena's really sad that let's just go through it quick because this does not
Yeah.
matter. Sheena said that Ariana didn't tell her about it, but like Lisa and Dan and Logan all knew. So like, why not Sheena? And I guess there was a leak that like Ariana was going to go on Dancing with the Stars. So our Dancing with the Stars called Ariana and was like, do not
Stop telling
speak.
people.
And she didn't trust that Sheena wouldn't be overheard because Sheena's a public figure. Great. Also, Sheena's got a big ass mouth. So
I was about to say the vlogging, like you don't know what's gonna be caught on those
she would
tapes.
have literally been like, I know a secret.
Yeah.
So
She would John Mayer it, where she like kept like
I'm not going
hinting
to
at
tell you
it.
who, but his body is a wonderland.
Oh my god.
So then there was also Broadway, and Ariana told no one about Broadway, but Scheana accidentally found out at the finale of Dancing with the Stars because she like walked in on a conversation and she's like, "Tell me
She like
what, tell me
invited
what."
herself into Ariana's trailer, and then somebody made a comment about it, the announcement the next day, and it's like, Scheana.
Do I not know what? That was she.
Oh
I was
my
like, Scheana, this is
gosh.
cringy. Just say you accidentally found out and like leave
That's the
it.
thing. And you don't have to like bring this up. Andy was like, did anybody here know? And Sheena's like, I found out the day before by accident. And it's like, that way you just don't say
Yeah,
anything in
everyone
this
was
moment.
talking about it and showing like knowing looks, and I was like, "Tell me why? Are you gonna tell me?
Tell me
Tell
why.
me."
So I
Anyway,
found out one day early.
so as we know, Sheena's dream is to be on Dancing with the Stars, which now I'm scared for her because I think people would troll her and not vote for her, and it's very heavy on people's
I
votes.
don't think I think she has ruined her chances of being on for two reasons. This show, and she mentioned, I think, on her podcast or her vlogs that she was like quote unquote banned from the set for like a year because of like bringing something on, like a weed pen or something. There was something in her purse that like she was told she shouldn't come back. So she didn't even know if she was allowed to go whenever Ariana was on it, I think. And there was like a weird story where she was like, yeah, I think I kind of was banned from the set for like a while. And I'm like, okay, that's why they're not asking you. Why are
Girl,
you taking dancing lessons if you're not even allowed to go as a viewer and watch?
Miss Girl, cut it out. Anyway, so um listen, she doesn't want to be on this next season because she thinks it'll be hard to follow Ariana's footsteps. Also,
That's such
she's a
bullshit.
big year with the band. So
Her being like, I can't because I have a band now.
maybe for her 40th birthday, she'll do it.
She's like, I'm declining Dancing with the Stars this year, actually, after
Well,
bitching about it
Lisa
forever.
was like, if they call, you'll do it. And she's like, I'll definitely do it.
Oh my
I'll
gosh.
ditch the band. So
Hey,
whatever.
Sheena better tell everybody, by the way, the minute she gets the news.
Yeah, I don't care if it goes against her contract. Fuck yeah. What if she's an alternate? Because sometimes people have to drop out right away and like
Oh
other people come
my
in
God.
last minute. Like there was one guy that didn't like you know how there's like a rule if you're on CBS you can't do any other like network shows for like a certain
Yeah,
year.
yeah. They have
There was a
like
guy that like
exclusivity.
got picked for Dancing with the Stars and then couldn't do it. So like the night of the premiere they had to switch in with someone else. So there are alternates
My
waiting in the
God.
wings.
Well, they don't even need to make it an official. She's an unofficial alternate because Sheena,
She'll
10
show
minutes
up.
before
Yeah, she's
will
there.
show up,
She's outside Studio City, like just pick me.
learning her
Yeah,
routine.
pick me already. So, great. Now let's go on to Allie and Joe joining us. We say hi to Allie and definitely not Schwartz's girlfriend, Joe.
Oh my God. I kind of feel bad for Joe a little bit. I'm like,
I
this is
go back
embarrassing
and
on a
forth.
public stage.
I want to feel bad for her, but she is so
I know.
cringy and
I feel embarrassed for
she's
her.
embarrassing.
Yeah.
I felt embarrassed for her and she herself is embarrassing. So it was a lot of
Yes.
emotions for me. I'm not going to be nice. Don't at me, whatever. So Allie's astrology business is going really well. She charges $195 an hour, which is
I
fucking
know.
wild.
And she's completely booked up.
Completely wild.
We'd be willing to pay for it. Maybe.
I don't know. We could only
Give us,
afford 1 hour together. So
hey, we're like,
but what
hey,
do you
can we
talk
have
about for an hour? I would zone out after 15 minutes of her telling me something.
That's the thing. I want to be able to retain. Is there like a beginner's class you can do with like 20 other people?
Did she send me an email giving me all the info so I can absorb it
Can you just
later?
bullet point some
Jesus
stuff
Christ.
for
Could
me?
you imagine her being like, okay, I'm reading your chart. It takes me 10 minutes. It takes you 10 minutes. And I'd be like, so this next hour, basically 40 minutes, what do we? Oh, you know what?
Here's what I want.
What?
I want you to look at my chart and tell me for the next year what I'm supposed to be doing. That's all I want.
Wait, you know what? I bet she's like a therapist where she charges for an hour, but it's only 50 minutes.
God, was there a Bravo show where somebody was talking about their quote unquote therapist and somebody was like, you mean your astrologer?
It's probably your Reiki instructor. It was probably this.
Like, oh God.
Anyway, so let's go into Joe. So we first heard about Joe last year when Katie said nobody likes Joe and said she has crackhead energy.
Well, that and Schwartz was like, oh, my roommate Joe.
My roommate
And
Joe.
Sheena was like,
that we definitely
oh,
haven't hooked
girl or
up.
a guy.
We haven't
Yep.
hooked up. So Schwartz and Joe started hanging out because Joe needed a spare bedroom. And I'm just going to say it
Okay,
now.
this is where I feel bad for her because this timeline, like Schwartz won't be
It's
honest.
so weird. Which we
Yeah,
know from the Scandal timeline, he doesn't get times.
he does. Yeah,
Um,
that's true.
However, him and Joe sitting next to each other, insufferable. It's like, do I know you? Haha, hey, nice to meet you. And
I, I'm like, stop with the jokes, Joe. Like, have a fucking backbone and stick up for yourself. This man treats you
yes, it
terribly.
was like, oh, I didn't really find him attractive at first. And Schwartz would be like, what? And Joe was like, I'm so sorry,
I'm sorry.
Joe, shut the fuck up. If I'm Katie, I'm literally counting down the moments until either one of the three of us dies, and I don't really care at that point
It's
which one.
I can imagine being Katie watching Schwartz do what he did to me with someone else and then joking about it too.
And her being
Like,
fine with it.
yes, like that would be
I
infuriating to be like, as Katie, like you feel like you kind of feel for your enemy
Yeah.
and she's friends with your ex,
No.
like after your ex just did her wrong too. Like, you and Katie should be like swapping war stories here, like
I
on the same page, and you're like
no.
joking with this man.
I stand with Katie. Nobody likes Joe.
Nobody likes
My God,
Joe.
she's driving me nuts. She wouldn't shut the fuck up also in her little fucking corner. Shut up when other people are talking. Okay, let's get into
She does not know how to be a reality TV star.
So it was a few weeks after, I guess, they started hanging out. They were just like they were drinking buddies, and then they turned into drinking buddies who fuck. But
Oh my
they
god.
met through this group because Joe is best friends with Kristen Doty. But so everyone's like, so that is the only connection to you and Schwartz becoming
Yeah,
besties.
they never hung out one on one until they
No,
became quote unquote drinking buddies.
until literally the divorce.
Yeah, that weird.
So Joe and Schwartz get asked all these questions. They keep making their weird jokes. We find nothing. Also, Joe has no idea how to do a reunion. But Katie is still like, why did you move in with Schwartz? Because Kristen Doty lives right down the street. So if you needed a place to stay, and Schwartz
And
was
she
like,
never asked Kristen.
yeah, because Schwartz was like, oh, Kristen was in a really volatile situation at that point. And Joe was like, Kristen won't let me stay with her. And Katie was like, no, Kristen was actually really shocked you didn't ask to stay with her.
Yeah, which I'm wondering, like, then I'm curious about the like Kristen timeline of it all. Like, was that whenever Kristen was breaking up with her ex and before the Valley and dating her new guy? Like,
I,
I
none of it, no one knows what they're talking about.
I know, you know me, I need a timeline in my head because
Meredith,
if not, then everything's scrambled and
we
like up here in the ether, and I'm like, I need a line.
we're
Give me a
asking
line.
the two most incompetent
Meatloaf
people
that.
oh my god, to like explain anything. They can't
Here,
form
I'll make a deal with
sentences.
them. They can do it in a robot voice if they give me a fucking timeline.
It's never gonna make sense. These two, insufferable does not even cover it. Nobody likes either one of them. Like
Nobody likes either one of them.
hell, I'll take Scheana talking about how all the men want to hook up with her over
Yeah.
fucking this.
I'll take Lala over this.
Anything, my god. So Ariana also doesn't like Joe because Joe knew about the affair. Why? Because of her proximity to Schwartz. Schwartz's apartment was the one being used for the
Ground
hookup.
zero.
And
Yeah.
also they all went on this Big Bear trip together.
The Big Bear is the most damning thing. Like, you could convince me Joe wasn't there whenever like Raquel and Sandoval were like hooking up or whatever. Like, Joe could convince me of that, but that Big Bear trip, I'm like, there is no way.
Yes.
Rachel and Sandoval were not all over each other.
If you're going to hook up with Schwartz, why is Raquel with you? So her and Sandoval can play cards in the other room?
If you're more than friends with your guy, why wouldn't she be more than friends with her guy?
Also, like what? They were sitting 10 feet or like 6 feet apart COVID style until Schwartz and Joe went away, and then they were like, now we'll come together.
Yeah, this isn't like a happy hour down the street where we just happen to like all be free, and so it's
we're
a random
driving to
group.
Fucking Big Bear.
And Rachel and Joe, I think, drove together too. So like, what did you chat about on your way up there?
Yeah, Rachel's like, oh, I just can't wait for you and Schwartz to go fuck, and then me and Sandoval are gonna play Xbox or something. And then Joe's like, no, for sure, you two don't even touch. Like,
Yeah.
come
And
on.
Rachel has said like it was an open secret at the time. Like her and Sandoval, like all their friends knew. So like there's no way Rachel's not talking about Sandoval and how
Which
in
is
love with him
such
she
bullshit.
is.
Ariana, I'm sure, but all those friends should be removed.
Done.
The best friends are the ones that break the penis flutes, you know? And you know Scheana didn't
Yes.
know because she was destroyed when this came out.
Yes, Scheana has reasons to hate Sandoval on
Destroyed.
her own.
Anyway, so again, this is gonna be so difficult to cover because I have no idea what they were saying. Schwartz and Joe were in a
Oh,
whirlwind romance.
I hate that word.
So
I
why
hate when he says that every time.
they made magic, Meredith? That was the worst. What they had was magic.
Oh,
Basically, this whole time, right? This is how I'm going to sum this up, and we can go into detail or not. He was dating Joe. He liked Joe. He told Joe, I love you. He
yes.
calls this a
They were
world.
in a situationship.
Yeah, this is a whirlwind romance. We're in love, blah, blah, blah. However, he kept Joe a secret. He never wanted her to like see the light of day. They were just friends. They
Correct.
speak in robot voice, so no one knows what they're actually fucking saying. And he doesn't cop up to having feelings for Joe. Whereas
Yeah.
Joe really did like Schwartz, and he's like friend zoning the fuck out of her. So it's super hard to watch, especially because Schwartz is such a fucking loser of a person that like, how could he hurt your feelings, you know? But like, I get it because
Okay, but if
men
someone
suck.
told me that we had magic in a whirlwind romance, I'd be like, you're in love with me.
I'm okay. You know what I always think of? Craig, one time with Paige, says, I'd love you to come to Delaware to meet my parents. And she immediately goes, you're obsessed with me. You love me. You want to marry me.
Yes.
You call this a whirlwind romance? I'm like, I literally am, my face is covered all over your apartment because you can't get enough of me.
That's the thing. Like, the only reason we're not together is because you must be shipping off to war or something.
Yeah, yes.
Like, there has to
But
be
even
something
then,
major
you will never take
like,
another lover besides me.
we are in love
Yes.
and like something is in between us. Like
Yes.
some insurmountable thing is in between us. That's how I would
to
feel.
me because you're so scared to fully let yourself be loved.
You'll
like
never
me.
have anyone else,
Like that's
but you'll
crazy.
always just think about me.
Yeah,
Yes.
So you're afraid to let me in because you'll never move on after I die.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
And then Schwartz during the season, I think, talked about like a moment that happened, and that's why he started stepping away. He didn't say it during this reunion, but then he kept
saying
he's
there's
like,
a moment. I stepped away.
I had to like distance myself, so we like slowly stopped.
What was that?
And I know like when was the moment that he like
well like what even was what's this moment?
I don't know, and I think it had to be during filming because like Andy then asks, well, were you guys sleeping together whenever like the show was filming? And Schwartz is like, oh, not really, and Joe is like, yes, we were.
Once or twice a week. That's a fucking relationship.
Again, you're in love with me.
Yeah, you're obsessed.
You're obsessed
with me. You want to marry me. You're in love with me.
You want to see me weekly, and this is a whirlwind romance?
You're obsessed.
We're soulmates.
You can't get enough.
And we both love to robot talk. Like, we are a match made in heaven.
Literally can't get enough. When I tell you these two are soulmates.
Yes. I need Schwartz to wake up because
I have never seen
them just
more
being
perfect
together.
people.
Agreed.
Like, I'll never find this type of love. I know that because this is so perfect.
Okay, what's more annoying than these two, like, love fighting, whatever, is Schwartz talking about his new girlfriend. I'm like, get out of here. I hate this.
Anyway, wait, so we'll get there. Okay, so Katie felt like Schwartz was breadcrumbing Joe. Joe doesn't know what breadcrumbing is, so she's not even fucking listening to...
She makes herself so punchable.
Big dummy, yeah. Katie said she felt bad for Joe while watching, and Joe is so annoying. She's like, oh, you did? I'm in the Twilight Zone. Katie felt bad for me?
And everybody's like, no, from like a show standpoint.
Yeah, Lisa goes like a pathetic way, basically, like from watching how terrible this loser of a man was treating you. Yeah, we fucking felt bad.
It's so weird that Joe cannot read the moment. It's like, oh, girl,
this is the best day of my life.
In the wrong direction.
Yeah. She goes, we're friends now again? Beaver loves you?
So this day ended up perfect. I'm friends with Katie and I'm marrying Schwartz.
Yeah, great. Whirlwind
The
romance.
delusion of
Best
that
friends with
girl.
the ex-wife. Yes.
A dream.
So, it was basically a relationship. Schwartz wouldn't commit. Allie and Lala have a side combo where they're like, what the fuck is happening? That is how I felt. I was like, maybe I am Lala because she's like, what is going? And Allie's like, this is insane.
I am Lala when she's not so fucking desperate for attention.
But them just being like, Lala didn't know what was happening because she couldn't even interrupt. She was like,
No. And Lala was
Brock
the
is
most
so
on Joe's side,
confused.
quote unquote.
Yeah,
Like,
everyone's confused. So Katie says Schwartz was displaying fuckboy behavior with Joe.
yeah.
Schwartz immediately gets defensive. That's a gross interpretation, Katie, of what happened, or simplification.
Oh, is that it? Is
Blech.
that it? How about you just never use the word or like phrase whirlwind romance
Well,
again?
then
And like that'll help your case.
Scheana shows, listen, this is when when Scheana's showing up to be like, shut the fuck up. She's like, we heard about your relationship. Like, you're on two different
Yeah.
pages. Yeah, it's fuckboy
Even
behavior.
now. Mm-hmm.
And Sandoval goes, I think I can shed some light. This got out of Andy's hands so quick.
Because Andy does nothing for reunions anymore. I'm like, come
This
on.
is why you need fresh blood every once in a while because they'll listen when Andy goes, can you stop?
Yeah.
These people have taken it upon themselves to run this reunion.
I
And it's
need
a
Andy
mess.
to do what Katie did and basically what Sheena's doing and be like, you are a fuckboy. None
And
of
we're
this is
done.
making sense. Like,
So
come on.
Sandoval asks, when you filmed, when was the last time you had sex? And Schwartz was like, when it ended, I had distanced myself.
What? Why can't you just answer the question? Because I don't want to know, but if you're gonna make me talk about this stuff, I want to know what was going on behind closed doors.
Sandoval really shed a lot of light. Thanks so much for clearing that up for us. And then meanwhile, Joe is crying right now. And both Lala and James are like, this is crazy. You are like real life gaslighting her, basically, because you're telling her you had this magical romance. And then you're like, however, she wasn't important enough to like date for real.
Date or publicly discuss or let her leave my apartment.
Like, and then Sandoval and Schwartz are like, it was different than what was shown on the show. But Joe's crying right there. So, like,
I know, they're like, it really wasn't contentious between us. And it's like, yes, it is. You are hurting her. You like, she wants to be with you. You say you love her behind closed doors. And then, like, out in public, you're like, oh, no, we weren't sleeping together at all during the show. Like, when you were, they are trying to, like, do the whole timeline spin that Sandoval did on his, like, Scandoval with this. And it's like, no. This, like, oh, it only happened one time. Like, type of thing. Like, that's what they're trying to do with
this was crazy.
Joe.
I was like, I have no idea what the question even was anymore. But we end with Joe and Schwartz are kind of friends at this point.
There's no way because she's shit talking his girlfriend.
They're not on the same page about
on
that.
The internet.
Joe says she just wants validation. Yeah, she doesn't like Sophie. Well, okay, so then we're like, Schwartz, you have a new girlfriend. Tell us about her. And he goes, her name is Sophia. She's ridiculously good looking, but that's my least favorite thing about her.
I hate when people do that.
Same.
She's so good looking, but it's the least favorite. Then why do you mention it? Why don't you say what your favorite thing is? And you gave us nothing else about her.
She's smart. She's fun. She's 23. That's what the fuck she is. And literally,
she's a child.
She just graduated college. Where are her parents? My parents would have shut this down.
You could
so
be her
quick.
Parent. Schwartz could be her parent.
My parent, when I tell you, if I was like, Mom, Dad, I'm going out with a 40-something-year-old as a new college grad, they would have been like, no, you're not.
Mine would have locked me in the basement.
Try again.
Did what Sandoval joked about, shoved chips underneath the door for me.
Oh my God, I forgot about that thing. But Schwartz says he doesn't want to talk about Sophia anymore because it's disrespectful to Joe. And everyone goes, oh, now? It's disrespectful. Like, we were like, what?
It's only when it's convenient for Schwartz, when he's like, oh, I don't really want to talk about this topic. I can throw out this card that, like, I really care about Joe.
You know who he's actually worried about is fucking Katie, because Katie does not give a shit that you're dating a child.
It just like Jax thinks he's a truther. Like Schwartz probably thinks he's like so
Yeah.
chivalrous.
He's
Like,
he's an
I'm a really
ally.
good
He's
guy.
an ally to every,
All women.
like
He really.
what's the word I'm looking for? Like anyone who has ever experienced any kind of discrimination or unfair treatment, he's an
Yeah,
ally for those groups.
he's like the white knight,
And
like
particularly
coming in to
women.
save the
Yeah,
day. Yeah.
particularly he's a white knight for the women.
He loves to clean up and like be the savior to the
Yeah.
problem he started.
He actually
He
had
loves to cause the problem and then be like, I saved you.
remember when Jax made a comment to the reunion and he goes, hashtag me too. And everyone went, no. That Schwartz all sat there and was like, no, but really?
But really,
Me
hashtag me
too.
too.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
there with you.
If Jags hadn't gotten backlash, Schwartz would have been like, me
He would
too.
have put
Me
his fist
too.
in the air and said, me too, brother.
Me
I'm there
too.
too. Oh, hold on. Anyway, so let's get back to Katie hating Joe, which Joe immediately starts crying. Girlie, you're not meant for reality TV. Immediately exit.
I
Immediately
think it's
stop.
so easy. Like Joe can be the like, oh, poor me with like Katie.
Yeah. So Katie
She's
says,
so mean to
yeah, she's
me.
mean. She's a big bad wolf,
She's
and
a
I'm just a
bully.
robot. I'm just a little robot over here. Fucking fuck off. So Katie's like, look, I was coming from a place of divorce. This person I didn't trust was now entering my life with my ex-husband, who I
Mm-hmm.
just fucking divorced, and we were trying to figure out a friendship. And Joe was
Yep.
like, I didn't feel ganged up on in anyone in this group but you. And I was like, ganged up on implies a gang of people. If it's just Katie, she
I
just hates you.
This was in that reunion like trailer that I like did on TikTok, and I'm like, it's not ganged up on if it's one
If it's
fucking
one
person. That
person,
just it's one person
they just
being
hate
mean to
you.
you.
They just hate you. Yeah, fucking
And also like you're allowed to be mean to people. That doesn't make you a bully.
yeah,
Like I'm allowed to be rude if I want to
yeah, I
be.
just don't like you.
That just makes me mean.
Yeah, I'm just a mean person.
I'm just a mean person.
Great.
It's Katie's allowed to be mean to Joe, and like Joe's allowed to be
She
like,
actually
that
has a
sucks, you're mean to
reason
me.
too. You could be mean for no
Correct.
reason, but she has a reason.
1000%.
So
A
Katie
very
says,
valid reason.
look, when her divorce was happening, she was not supported by a lot of people in this room in particular.
Mm-hmm.
And Joe goes, neither was I because of you. And Katie goes, it's not about you. So
It's
do
not
you
about
think
you.
Joe has won up Scheana at this point? It's not about you.
Um, yes, because at least like Scheana has like a little bit of claim in a lot of her like wanting to make it about her
Yeah,
moments.
this is literally nothing to do with Joe.
Nothing to
So
Katie's divorce does not have anything to do with you, Joe.
no. So Katie knows like she wasn't nice or kind, but she was dealing with shit. And the last thing she needed was Joe. And
Joe.
Katie never
Mm-hmm.
said Joe was a crackhead. She just said crackhead energy, which is different. And then Joe lists all the terrible things Katie has ever said. And Katie's like sitting there trying not to laugh. She's like,
She's like,
well,
and
she goes, it was colorful. And Joe's like, colorful. But Katie then says she doesn't like a lot of people and doesn't believe in being nice to everyone because they'll fuck you over. And Lala goes, maybe they'll fuck your man. We're all like,
yeah.
yeah, it's a case by case basis. So great. We end with Joe is single, but does Andy know anyone? Maybe Aaron Rodgers?
I
My enemy? My
There's
enemy.
so many levels to that because why are you asking? You shouldn't even be in the same room as
Well,
Andy Cohen, first off, Joe. Why are you asking him for like to set you up on a date? And it's not like he's best friends with Aaron
well,
Rodgers.
Andy's even like, he's a wackadoodle.
I mean, that's her type.
You know
Maybe
what?
they can robot together.
You know what? I will say this, Joe. If I didn't already fucking hate you for the way you had this reunion going, I hate you for even remotely thinking Aaron Rodgers is
For
dateable.
bringing up.
He is my number one enemy in the world.
Yes.
And I hate him so
Yes.
much. So listen up here, bitch. If you want to be compatible with him, you by default are my number one enemy in the world.
That's the thing. Like, that was the nail in the coffin on Joe for you.
But then she goes, John
We're
Mayer?
done.
And Scheana goes,
Okay, that would
no.
actually make sense considering they're best friends.
Well, Andy was like,
Andy,
I'm not doing that. Jesus, John would never be my friend again.
Well, Andy's like, listen, Sheena already brings up John Mayer way too much on this show, so like we don't need another
John
person.
Mayer, if he wasn't friends with Andy, he would sue Bravo. He'd be like,
Didn't
stop talking
Sheena
about
make a
him.
comment whenever Joe said John Mayer?
Yeah, she goes,
I thought I
been
saw that
there,
on
done
social
that.
media. Yes. I'm like, the way Sheena sticks to the John Mayer storyline
It's
is like the
so,
most consistent thing about
it's
this
the
show.
best bit.
It, I, somebody needs to tell me, has she brought it up every single
I
season?
hope so. I would just like to say though, Joe isn't young enough for John Mayer, so oh well. Anyway, so then let's talk about James. He has this new house with Allie. It's by the airport, but James says, "You see an airplane, you know it's their scene." Hell yeah,
I he is so funny. He's like, "Hey,
it's
I
me.
love it.
That's
More
me.
more more focus on me."
Yeah. They killed all the plants basically that Schwartz brought over, except maybe one in the studio. There was a lot of rain and
Oh my
stuff, which I was like,
God.
weren't these indoor plants?
I thought that they
There's a lot of
were.
rain.
They don't even know. The minute they were handed that plant, they threw it away.
One was an
And by one plant,
orchid.
I mean
You
three.
don't, I don't think you plant orchids outside, right? Maybe you do.
I mean, I'm sure you can, but everything he gave in my mind was an indoor thing.
Yeah, no one ever give me an outdoor plant. I wouldn't know what to do.
I would just leave it up to nature and hope for the best.
Leave it in the little pot it came in and just put it outside and go,
Just set
hope
it
it
out on the
works.
front porch.
Yeah.
Yep. We'll see what
So,
happens here.
also the cats and Hippie get along great now. Hooray.
Good.
Rachel publicly said that Hippie's bad behavior is because how James treated Hippie as a puppy. James says that's false. And then him and Allie give this story about how Hippie was taken from Indiana, put in a cargo plane, and then shipped
Like in a
over in a
crate.
crate to
Yeah.
California, which is also, yeah, very traumatizing. So is that the reason for his
Listen,
trauma? I don't know. I'm not a dog therapist, but Allie sees it in the
overall,
stars.
yeah, they did not like train. They collectively, Rachel and James, did not like train the dog. So like, it's not one person's fault over the other if like both parties are not really gonna like put the effort in to like training the dog from the beginning. And so it seems like Hippie probably has had training now. He seems pretty chill.
Sorry. I'm back. Sorry, I was on mute because
Okay.
I had a cough. You could just leave this in. Who cares? Everyone should know. So James loves Hippie so much to the point that he was going to miss Allie's best friend's wedding for the dog because he didn't want the dog to be watched by anyone
Oh
but
my
Harry, and
gosh.
Harry couldn't make it. But what ended up happening was because Allie's very upset, but they compromised, and James ended up going to the wedding, so it was
Good.
fine.
I was nervous actually about that. I
Same.
could not find evidence of him at that wedding on their social medias because they didn't post about it.
Oh,
So I was
there
concerned
was
that
a
he did
cute
not
pic
go.
about, yeah, whatever. So Uh, how is James though with compromise? And Allie's like, he's pretty good. And basically, James just gives Allie whatever she wants, which is great.
I love that. He's like, I'm great at compromise. I just give her
Yeah,
everything. I'm
whatever
like,
she
that's not a
wants,
compromise.
done. You know what? It's what works. So, but James is really passionate about showing all the compromises he does for Allie to the point that him and Andy are like in a fight about it.
Oh my God.
So anyway, Allie is still not ready to get married, have kids. She goes, this isn't exactly the most inspiring group, which was absolutely hilarious because everyone gets so offended. And she goes, oh, I was talking about the marriage, which
I mean,
I,
is true.
but she says what she wants to have kids when she feels like Lala to the point that she would do it alone. So like Allie's not there yet.
Which, like,
It's fair.
good sentiment. And also, like, why are we shitting on Allie for, like, maybe not wanting to get married or have kids? Like,
Yeah.
why are we barking up her tree about it?
Ariana didn't want to get married or really have kids either. Like, and everyone shut up. I think it's James. He wants to get married. He is 32. He wants kids by 35. However, he's willing to wait for Allie forever, which was
You know what?
cute.
Allie and James are similar to Paige and Craig.
Yeah.
It's like the guy wants all these things, and the girl's like, I'm gonna take my time, and I'm like, get after it, girly.
These are the relationships that work. The men are obsessed and the women
Mm-hmm.
don't care as much, but they care and they love you so
Yes.
much. But
Golden Retriever, black cats.
yes, 100%. These are my favorite types of relationships,
Me
truly.
too.
So we talk about how the group is sober now, which very good for them, not good for my TV, but
No.
they did the weird water tasting that we had to re-see. Lala's 5.5 years sober, which is amazing. Wow, like
I'm
that's
very proud of
a
her.
lot. We talk about Schwartz's brother Bert and his addiction issues. And he got a liver
Mm-hmm.
transplant, so now he has to be sober. So Bert, though, is coming to LA and they're going to do a sober bender. And it sounds like Lala and Sandoval will also be around. And they're not going to, Schwartz isn't going to drink around his brother.
I think that's a really nice thing to do.
So what should be done if we're
I feel
going
like
to
that's
be
a really great
honest?
way to support your family.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
thanks for like, why do we have to cheer
thanks
for the
for
guys
doing the
doing like bare
bare
minimum normal
minimum.
things?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all like, yeah, Schwartz, you're such a good guy. Thanks for thinking of somebody else.
Yes. So then James has been sober almost a year. There was a big moment that made James stop drinking where Allie had like moved out for 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
Allie says she just doesn't like James when he drinks. It's not cute. And James is like, yeah, I know I have a mouth. I get disrespectful when I drink. And Joe is like, that's amazing that you know that about yourself.
I'm like, Joe, shut up.
And James goes,
why are you still out here?
well, I watch it. Like I have this show to think, She's like, oh,
Joe,
true.
you should try it.
Yeah, you're right.
You should try watching it back and
See
changing
what
and
happens.
like
Yeah.
adjusting some things.
So then Andy's like, well, it sounds like Allie gave you an ultimatum kind of thing. And James is like, well, I'm also doing this like for myself because I want this relationship. So like to be better for this relationship, I need to stop drinking. But Allie does say if James drinks again, she probably would leave.
Good. I'm glad it's like such a hard boundary and she's like so open about it because I think if it wasn't, like I just feel like Rachel always was like didn't really have a backbone with anything. So her like saying like if you keep being drunk, like this isn't gonna work. I just like don't believe in her. So like but like when Allie says like I will leave the next time he takes a sip of alcohol, like, oh I believe that.
Yeah, I think too,
She's
like
conviction.
I think James just needs to be so he's just better when he's sober, We've
I
seen
also
it.
don't think he could do it for himself, I'm gonna be honest. So like
Yes.
I don't want people to have to throw down these ultimatums on their partners, but I think James needs something to lose, quote unquote, if he takes another sip. And so like
Yeah.
weighing the cost and having like the loss of his relationship be what will crumble, like what he'll lose
Yeah.
if he takes a drink. Like I think he needs to think something else is holding him accountable, not just it's on him.
Yeah, he's also not the type to have like one glass and be like, we did it.
Yeah.
He would 3 bottles
You
later.
can't.
Yeah, he would just keep drinking.
Oh yeah.
So, any last words from Joe? And she says she actually had a really great time with all these people besides Katie. And Katie goes, what are you talking about? I'm a delight. I'm going to start calling myself a delight. That's hilarious.
Okay, but if Katie said that she had a great time except for like talking with Joe, like Joe would be like, "You're such a bully.
Yeah.
You're so mean to me."
Katie's whatever. She doesn't give a
Katie
fuck what
takes it on
Joe
the chin.
thinks.
She's
Yeah.
like, "Good. I'm glad you didn't have fun with me. You shouldn't."
Yeah. So now we got to talk about the real star of the season, Anne or Summer Moon? Yeah, so it's Anne, and Scheana's like, I thought you were gonna say Summer Moon.
Oh
We
my God.
already talked about Summer Moon.
Like, Scheana, it isn't actually all about you. I know we've been throwing this joke out there, but like it isn't always
I
about
know
you
it's
and your
always about
family.
Summer Moon, but even she doesn't want it all about her.
Like, let Ian have a moment.
She's
Summer
fine.
Moon is not gonna be upset.
So Anne had to do some pretty wild tasks. And though Sandoval makes it clear she doesn't touch dirty laundry, but she does tidy up and clean after parties. And then Anne wanted to work with Ariana. So, when Ariana asked for assistant recommendations, Anne was like, me. And
Mm-hmm.
Ariana says it's probably because at that point she wanted to work with and for other women. And Sandoval
Yeah.
was very bothered by this because he felt betrayed that Anne would do that on camera. So if she doesn't
Can
want
you imagine somebody doing something on camera as a joke, like slapping Rachel's ass last year when you were
to,
having an
can you
affair? Like, there's so
believe?
many things you've done on camera. I really don't think Anne having a little interview
Well,
is the end of it.
he said if she doesn't want to work for him, then fine, go work for someone else. And he did fire her, even though he said he didn't fire her. Do you imagine
Hmm.
lying? It's crazy.
Well, he lied on the season, and then on Nick Viall's podcast, the day this season premiered, he said that she resigned recently. Sir, you fired her like 5 months prior to that.
She was working at something about her. She was busy.
It is insane because, like, you act like we can't fact check this or don't know when this was filmed.
I think that's it. He's clearly telling us like the sky is like orange, and we're
Orange.
sitting there like,
Yeah,
no, it's not. And he's
I
like, it
I
is.
have eyes.
It's actually you're wrong. And we're like, well. So last segment is Tom and Ariana's pets. And the Maya scandal, the chicken skewers, if
Hmm.
you will. So Andy's like was kind of gross that those skewers were by your bed, and Ariana's like,
I am still annoyed that this like drunk eating food shaming thing is
well,
happening.
Ariana's like, sure, but it's my space, so
I can do whatever I want.
yeah. So what happened was there was issues with the air conditioner, so Sandoval had to go into her room, and he doesn't know if it was him or Anne who let Maya in, but Maya got in there and ate the chicken skewers and almost died.
Hmm.
And Ariana says she should have been consulted that someone would be going in her room.
Yeah,
That's,
even about the problem, like
yeah,
it is your joint house. Why wouldn't you tell her if there's something wrong with the air conditioning and that you need to go in and fix something in her room? Like just from like a home ownership
yes,
aspect, she should know where the problem is.
yeah. And like, that's the only area that's hers. Do you have to go into, okay, let's say that is the only place you can go in to fix this air conditioning. Fine.
Hmm.
So you should really, though, you need to give a heads up. Even with roommates, if people go in my room, I want there to be like, hey,
Yeah.
we have to go in your room and grab something. And I want to respond back, okay, before you go in.
Hmm.
And Ariana probably
Well,
would
like
have said,
if
don't let
I
Maya in because there are chicken skewers by my bed.
if I ignored you for 5 hours, I get at some point like you just got to go in, but like there should be a notice that like you were in my
Yes.
room.
And
Like
not
if it
just
were
my
there was
dying dog.
yeah, because like this wasn't an emergency. This clearly was like scheduled because like something had to happen and I
Yeah,
like they
maintenance
needed to go check
person.
something out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, before you enter anyone's room, you should give them a heads up.
Yeah. Whether you're gonna like just text them and say, "Hey, I'm going into your room right now," or "Hey, can I go into your room?"
Yeah.
One of those at least.
So then we talk about pet custody because Sandoval doesn't get the pets. And Ariana says
No,
she had Kitty before she even moved to LA. So Kitty is hers. And
not even in question.
she
Yeah.
purchased Maya. So like Maya is also hers. And Sandoval
Yeah.
rolls his eyes, which sets my dude James Kennedy off because Sandoval, he's like, sure, sit there, roll your eyes, but you didn't have an issue when Rachel took Graham from me. And Sandoval
Mm-hmm.
goes, and then he goes, and then you were the new secret daddy, Sandoval. And Sandoval goes, I'm keeping my mouth shut about things that I've heard, and they add up, James. And James goes, shut the fuck up, Sandoval. You haven't heard shit. And then Sandoval tells James to get off his high horse. And James says, brother, I'm gallivanting so far ahead of you, bro. I can't even
I
see you in the
mean,
distance. You're in a swamp, bruv. Think quick. Eat a dick. And then Sandoval's like, you eat a fucking dick.
James is so good with his words. I don't understand how he comes up with this shit.
I'm galloping so far ahead of you,
So far ahead
bro.
of you.
I can't even see you in the distance. You're in a
That's a
swamp?
bar. I mean, might I say, James's like wordsmith is on par with Taylor Swift.
Yeah, yeah, he should write a song. Everyone
I'm
remember
even
when
like
Jack smoked Faith?
Jack Spoke
That was straight
Bay.
off the dome. This dude
I know.
freestyled that. So yeah, he's a genius. Um, so just to go through that, I understand why James is upset. Like he was
Yes. I never
crushed.
even thought about that. Like
Yeah.
whenever we talked about the Maya situation this season, but like That is so true. Nobody should have a problem with Ariana taking Maya because no one stepped in whenever, like now hippie was taken from James.
Yeah, it was because Raquel's parents had bought him. So if Maya bought, or if
It was a
Ariana
gift to
bought
her.
Maya,
Yep,
that's it.
that's what it is.
So yeah, then Sandoval saying like, I've heard some things, James, and they
That
add up.
comment.
To bring something probably that has nothing to do with the dogs in.
Well, it probably has to do with like the treatment of the dogs, and James shouldn't be around the dog or whatever, quote unquote. But like that has nothing to do with like one party getting a dog and everybody just like nodding and saying it's
Yeah.
okay. And now because it's Sandoval's situation, it's not okay.
And also, one of my least favorite things people do is going, I know something, but I'm not going to say it.
It reminds me of what like happened on the Valley where like Kristen kept being like, I'm keeping your secrets. And it's like, well, if you keep mentioning it, you're not doing
Yeah,
it. You
shut the
just
fuck
alluding
up.
to it
Yeah.
does not help keep my secret because people are going to start asking about it because they know there's a secret. They know things like Sandoval knows things. So everybody's going to ask Sandoval like, oh, what do you know
He's
now?
such a little fucking skis.
I can we all just like have a beat up Sandoval day, please? Like I just need to get my rage out on
I
him.
would
Even
pick
if it's like a doll. Like I want to kick a
I
doll
would pick
with his face on it.
Schwartz, but yeah, let's just do it. As we had in the review one time, everything the Toms do is wrong.
Correct. They are just terrible people.
Ugh, terrible. Okay, well, that's our episode. Oh, next episode, we finally get the last 7 minutes. The cast is going to watch it. I'm sure there's some crying. I didn't write down anything. I was like so mad.
No. I need it to be here. I'm so tired. I feel like I've been like put on a shelf and I'm waiting for like it's as if the reunions didn't
Yeah.
happen. I know we just spent like 2 hours talking about
Yeah.
this episode, but
I love.
you don't tease that. I wish they wouldn't have told us that that was what was going to happen.
Well,
I don't like
it's
waiting. I just
probably the
want to. I
last
want.
season. It's fine.
I just can't wait for Lala to like get what's coming to her. And Ariana's gonna talk in a nice, calm tone about how she's a shitty ass person, and I can't wait.
We're gonna see, but great. I'm glad we started this episode saying this could be 10 minutes, and we've been talking for almost 2 hours. So, lovely, kill me. Anyway, great times with great
Yeah, one
people.
left.
Bad episodes, one left. We'll see what happens. But do all the
Thanks for
things.
joining. Bye.